This
Okay.
conference will now be recorded.
Okay. So I think let's start with introduction. So guys, you just do you wanna introduce yourself? Not in much details, like which background you are from, if you are working, which technology if you are working. Okay. In my first list, I can see Arish. Arish, do you wanna introduce yourself quickly?
Yeah, hi. Hello.
Yeah, I can hear you, Arish.
Yeah, hi everyone. Yeah, this is Harish. I'm working in EY, Ernest & Young in Bangalore. Right now, I'm having 5 years of experience in PIPO. So I
Okay.
am just need to learn CPI.
Okay, that's good to know.
Thank you.
Thanks, Arish. Madhav.
Hey, everyone, myself, Madhav. Since last 10 years in the IT industry, I worked for the Oracle apps, mainly the technical side. Last 3 years in the SAP cloud system. Currently, we are using the middleware, the Dell Boomi. The organization is moving to Dell Boomi to the CPI. Just I'm planning
Okay.
to learn the explore on the CPI technology.
Okay, good to know. Thanks, Madhav. Naveen. Naveen, if you are in mute, if you're speaking.
Yeah, hi, Arjun. Am I right?
Yeah, go ahead, Naveen.
Yeah, hi, Arjun. Actually, I have been talked with Uday. So I'm also working in CPI. So he requested me to join this training to understand more. So I have been in experience in CPI around 4 years
Okay.
and working with Genpact.
Yeah, thanks. Thanks, Naveen.
Yeah.
Preeti.
Hello. Yeah. Good morning. My name is Preeti, and I'm working in Onama Group as a PIPO consultant, as well as like I started in like CPI. I'm a beginner in CPI, so just wanted to learn CPI. So I have so many projects to do, so that's why.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Thank you, Preeti. Rajesh.
Yeah, I said Rajesh, I'm from Bangalore. So I've been working in as a PA consultant for last 3 years. Just I need to
Mhm.
explore. So yeah,
Okay.
that's why. Thank you.
Thanks, Rajesh. Santosh. Santosh.
Hi, all. Santosh here. Arjun, hi. Myself, Santosh. I've been working as an Dell Boom integration developer since 3 years. I was in Excel logic. So
Mhm.
I'm very much interested in the CPI. So my current organization,
Okay.
they want to move to the CPI. So that's the main thing.
Okay. All right. Thanks, Santosh.
Yeah.
Srinivas.
Yeah, I have totally 2 plus years of experience in SAP PIPO and CPI. So currently I'm working at Equity Global. Yeah, that's it.
Okay. Thanks, Harish. Thanks for really your introduction, and good to know most of the people already from somewhere they are working in integration technology, either it could be SAP or non-SAP ones. That's really good to know. So coming to myself, so my name is Arjun. So I have around 10 years of experience in integration space. So I started my career as an SAP PI/PO developer. So since past years, I've been working with the different middleware technologies like PI and PO, CPI, and Dell Boomi and MuleSoft as well. So exclusive in CPI, because this training is in CPI. So exclusive in CPI, So I started almost 5.5 years ago working, and whenever SAP launched this tool, luckily I got an opportunity to work on the CPI. Since then, I'm working on this CPI. So coming to the trainings, from past 4 years, I'm giving this CPI trainings and also PIPO trainings as well. Okay, so as end of the demo is, I will quickly walk through these slides, and also that it just give you an overview about that CPI tools and all, and also I will walk you through which we will bring as part of this course. If you have any questions during any slides or anything, please feel free to interrupt and ask your question. And also after the session, also we will maybe 10 or 15 minutes spend for the exclusively the question. Okay, so feel free to ask any question because it's starting. So if you want to start this training, you need to clear about what all are your questions, whatever it could be, anything. Okay, I'm happy to answer. So yeah, let's kick on. At the end of this course is just demo basically. So basic goals of CPI and how we can access the CPI tenants and CPI development platforms, and then futures of the CPI, and we can talk about the introductions and then CPI architecture. So basically, how do we access these CPIs? As you most of them already know, it's a cloud-based system. Okay. So I'm just asking my background to stop. Okay. So since it is a cloud-based system, all we need to do is once we subscribe the CPI license from that SAP, we will get an endpoint, right? So that's which we can use it in any browser. In fact, you can access the system from your mobile as well. All you need is just endpoint, and then use your username and password. That is your user and password. So when you subscribe that, you will get this web UI URL from the SAP. This is as a developer, we can use this web UI URL and go ahead and do the developments and all. And another one is a runtime URL. We do have these two kinds of URLs in CPI. So this runtime URL we will be using in terms of system interactions, which means let's say I need to connect with from ECC to the success factor. So ECC system should talk with CPI, right? So if ECC want to connect with this CPI, this runtime URL will come into the picture. That's what I would say. This is for the system interactions. This is for the user interaction. As a developer, as an admin or whoever, we are using this URL to connect with the system and do our development activities and all. So features and advantages of CPI. So next two slides, we will discuss about what exactly the main advantage of the CPI. Definitely, if you are playing an architect role in the integration, you might be asking the question from the customer, where they have a multiple choice, like they are choosing to go ahead with. They are actually in confusion state. Either they have to go ahead with the Delbumi or MuleSoft or CPI. Okay, so obviously, if you are from SAP background, our job is to propose the technology which we are working, right? So, and also we need to tell what all are the advantages really in CPI compared with other middlewares, and also all this perspective we need to answer them, right? So first one, don't want to invest on on-premises cost, which means let's assume if it is a PIP or any other on-premises system, we need to spend in cost or price in terms of system setup, because that is on premises. That is something you need to set up in your customer landscape. So if you want to set up, you need to purchase the license, and also you need to be take care about the system maintenance, and also that memory to install all the systems and all. And also you need to, if system want to upgrade in future, you need to think about the upgradation setups and all, patches, installation and all. Whereas in base of CPI, we no need to bother about everything because it's a cloud-based system. This system is being maintained by SAP. So when you say it's being maintained by SAP, SAP take cares about everything. So when you say everything, again, your system is always up to date. So with the latest versions, and you no need to bother about the maintenance, and you no need to bother about any patches, installations and all. So always your system is up to date with the latest version. So that's the most advantages of this CPI and also the cloud-based systems. And increasing speed and enhanced, which means, so what SAP did with CPI is, most of the SAP systems like SuccessFactor, Ariba, Concur, Fieldglass, like S/4HANA Cloud, on-premises, C4C, hybrid marketing, and all. We do have all this cloud and on-premises system in SAP landscape. So for all those system integrations, SAP is already analyzed the customer requirement, and they already build a pre-delivered content. It's a pre-packaged content we call. So what it means is, so as a developer, we no need to spend your time on the development, because most of the systems already SAP is offering the pre-delivered content. All you need to do is we need to go there and figure out which is, let's say I need to connect with ECC to the success factor. Okay, so what, there could be L number of iFlows or developments are available. Your job is just to figure out based on your requirement which is suitable. Just 3 to 4 clicks, just copy it, make it a deploy. So your integration is ready. You don't need to spend your development time and all. So that's how pre-delivered contents are helping. So that almost like 400 plus pre-delivered packages are available in CPI. It's keep growing actually. And also there is a required faster innovation focused cloud strategy, which means, like I just said, it is a cloud-based system. If SAP wanna innovate something in future, it is easy because it's a cloud. Once they come up with some new feature, since it is in cloud, they can simply apply for the cloud-based system so that it will be applicable for all the customer. So in case of on-premise, it's not like that, right? So they will make it the patch available in SAP Marketplace, where you need to go there and download and install. And again, it is specific to the customer. If customer thinks it is required, just go ahead. They will go ahead and install it. But it is cloud. It's not like that. Always everyone prefer, right? So our system is up to date. That's keeping in that mind. They will keep all the CPI system across the globe is up to date. And yeah, have the need for cloud to cloud integration. Leading system, I would say this is one of the leading system for SAP integrations. So business benefits, so fully deployments in a week, mobile grade user, which means at the moment every month SAP coming up with some new features in CPI. Okay, in this new feature in terms of systems or in terms of pre-delivered contents and all. So as I said, these systems can be accessible from your mobile as well. That's how it's user friendly. And multiple innovations SAP is offering, and as I said, we have it. And the customer feedback, they are keep taking that feedback from the customer based on the usage of the system. So they're coming up with that innovation. If customer thinks this is something needs to be still improved like that. And this style, I would say, no lengthy upgrade cycles, because the system doesn't take much time to upgrade. Again, it takes case by that SAP. In fact, when they are upgrading in the back end, it doesn't impact anything which is already running in your production. I will tell why, because when I speak about architecture, I will tell you how it doesn't impact. Because in PIP or any other middleware, it requires a downtime and all, right? So for patch installations and upgrade and all. But here it's not like that. In fact, it doesn't impact anything which is already running in production when the system is being upgraded. They simply notify the customers like via mail, okay, we are upgrading this your tenant with these features and these midnight, something like that. And lower initial maintenance pre-delivered content, which means we no need to bother about the installation system, maintenance of the system, and we do have a pre-delivered contents. Any questions as of now before moving to the next slide?
No questions. Please proceed.
Thank you. Good. So I can rename this. I didn't save it. It's earlier we used to call it an SC HANA Cloud Integration. A few years back, actually renamed to CPI Cloud Platform Integration. So earlier we do having we used to have two development landscapes, like Web UI, which is SAP offer tool. Another one is almost 2 years back we used to develop all our content using Eclipse, because Web UI is not mature. So now from past 1 year, SAP strictly recommended stop using the Eclipse. Eclipse is no more supported. Now everyone, we have to use this Web UI tool to develop our content in CPI. So this is SAP tool. So when you say Web UI, only these 4 screens are available in system. Like discovery, where we can go ahead and look into the pre-packaged content. Like as I said, 300 or 300 plus package contents are available, which is already developed by SAP. So if you want to see all those packages, you can go there and see. This is the discovery tab. And another one is the design. This is a workbench where as a developer getting into it and doing our iFlows development and all. And then we do have a monitoring, which we'll be using to debug our iFlows and monitoring the water it is running and all. And then settings and maintenance, this case we will be using in order to key store maintenance certificates and also like in order to certificates like transport mechanisms, and also we need some when we are upgrading from PO to the CPI or designs. So these setting tabs help us to connect from CPI to PO and get that design into CPI as part of the upgrade and all. So this is the tabs we will be discussing in details. Definitely there are a lot to discuss in these tabs. So we will be getting into this in detail in our course. Just give me a sec. Yeah, so this is the, I told you, right, that in system perspective, how it looks like, this is how the system looks like. SAP Cloud Platform Integration. These all are the tabs. I selected the discovery. This is how that looks like, all your pre-delivered contents. And iFlows are interfaces, you would say. Integration, generally we will call as an integration flows. The people who are from PI background, we call as an interfaces, right? So same way, just renaming, there's an iFlows, integration flows. So this is how the integration flow looks like once you develop in your CPI tenant. For example, this interface connected from ERP to COD. This is flexible. You can name it as you want. My case, I named it as an ERP. Okay, that's an ECC system, COD Cloud for Customer System. So what I mean to say in this screenshot is, when you are doing the development, you can actually see end to end how your development looks like. Okay, it is connected from ERP and source is ERP, target is CFRC system. And also we do have all these palette functions. Definitely we will be discussing in detail in the training all these palette functions which we are using to develop. So once you get an understanding about all the functions, you can see, by seeing itself, you can see, okay, it is connected with these systems, with this protocol, and with this is the mappings used and routings used, something like that. In single window, it is visible. So it same case with the Delbumi and other middleware, but not the case with PIPO. In PIPO, it's completely different, right? We can't see it complete design in our single screen. SLD foundation and ESR, all the structures and mapping and ID or communication channels and all. In fact, you by single screen, you can't know what exactly interface is doing. You need to log into the 3 landscape and see. Same way for another success factor integration. So this is how you can do the multiple connections with the systems and do the developments. So bridge eye view of the CPI architecture. So which means backend how exactly message flow happens. For example, there is a sender and receiver. Let's assume this is a sender is ECC system and receiver is success factor system. Just an assume. So when ECC wanna make a call to the CPI tenant, as I said initially, I said there are 2 URLs, right? One is a web URL, another one is a runtime URL. You can see there are 2 nodes available in CPI. One is a tenant management node. So another one is a runtime node. Tenant management node, it is for user interactions. User could be administrator or integration developer. When they run the URL, they will connect to the tenant management node and they can go ahead and do their developments. Once development has been done in this tenant management node, developer must deploy that into the cloud. That is a runtime node. When it is deployed into the runtime node, actually our design will be executed in runtime node. That is the reason sender is actually connecting with your runtime node. You can see the flow, right? And then once the runtime node is been executed and it is coming to the message content and flowing back to the runtime node and again sending into the receiver system. So when you say message content, so this is the message content. Like as a developer, we did the mappings and routings and all. It executes and it manipulates the data as receiver one. So that execution is happening in this message content and all. And also as a developer, we need to see that, right? That is message flows and all. That is the reason it is tied up sync with the monitoring database and sending message back to the receiver. So just to make it simple, yeah, there is a sender and receiver. Sender is talking with the runtime node and it is executing your design and sending back into the receiver. But development, we are actually doing into the tenant management node. And if you see, there is for inbound calls, there is a load balancer in between from the sender and receiver. This is only for inbound. Load balancer is something comes with when you subscribe a CPI license, it comes with the same license. Load balancer is also being maintained by SAP only. So it basically manages the load, and for that inbound, let's say in ECC there could be thousands of interfaces hitting into the system. There could be 3 to 4 services hitting into the same endpoint. In fraction of seconds, also matching, let's say 10 different services from ECC hitting into the CPI at the same fraction of seconds, which means it obviously service may not available right at the same time if they, so it manages the traffic, it keeps into the queue, and it traffic being maintained by a fraction of seconds in backend, so that take case by the load balancers. And also like PO, there is no payload limit in PO. SAP say, like for example, they standardly recommend 5 or 10 MB max. Yeah, if you send more than like 1 GB files where the heavy mappings are involved on everything, heavy mappings or UDFs or everything is involved, if you send 1 or 2 GB file, PO system will be crashed because it doesn't support. And if that files want to support, obviously you need to think about database perspective, and you have to increase that logs and memory size and all. And again, if it is a 5 GB file, again it may kill the server, right? So here it's not like that. There is no payload limit. You can send 10 GB or 20 GB files. It doesn't impact on the server. That is where this load balancer comes into the picture. It makes sure it is not harming server based on the payloads which you are sending. Yeah, that's all about this demo. And before I really move into this course content and then show you what I will be covering as part of the course and all. So any questions on these slides relating to this as of now?
Hello, Arjun. This is Navin here. The slides
Yeah.
looks good. So for my end, we have many cloud integration tools, right? SAP CPI, Delbumi, Salesforce, even MuleSoft. So, and how we can choose SAP CPI in specific scenarios? Can you please articulate in which scenarios CPI is the most effective way to use?
Yeah.
Because customers would think about, right? Yeah.
Definitely. I played as an integration architect for the different projects. As per my experience,
Yes.
and this where I for that, first my thumb rule is what exactly the customer roadmap for next 10 years. Are they looking for the cloud-based system integration? If yes, what kind of cloud-based systems are those? Are they any SAP systems like in SAP SuccessFactors, Ariba, Fieldglass? There are multiple cloud-based systems, right? Are
Yes.
those cloud systems are available, are in scope in next 10 years in that landscape? If yes, let's say if yes, definitely we will go ahead with the CPI, because CPI is more flexible to connect with all the SAP cloud-based systems, because both are SAP product. SAP, they knows what it exactly doing in a SuccessFactors and all. Accordingly, they developed your pre-delivered content. Accordingly, they made it available your connectors. Accordingly, data transformations, everything are already there. If it is an SAP, let's go ahead with the CPI. And let's say there are other situations where 50-50 systems are there. There are, let's say, next 10 years, there will be 20 cloud-based systems coming into the picture in the landscape. Out of 20, there are 10 SAP systems, other 10 are non-SAP systems. Okay, so in that case also still I just with the go ahead with the SAP, because almost 50% of the SAP systems are there. Other than that, when you say 10 could be different systems. If you say Delbumi, I don't think there are Dell products in the 10 out of that. There could be another system, right? In same case with the MuleSoft as. So that is the main, in the landscape, what kind of systems are in. Is the primary thumb rule to filter out which middleware is required. And secondly, in terms of cost, we need to tell the customer as well how exactly in terms of it doesn't mean that this is the thumb rule and go ahead with it. At the end, how much it is costing, that is the more important to the customer. So we need to compare the price, what exactly the charging for the Delbumi, MuleSoft, and CPI. So CPI perspective, we have flexible in terms of cost. So we do have a
Yes.
subscription based, which we will be discussing in training. Subscription based model, consumption based models. I will tell you very high level, but in details we will discuss in training. So subscription based model is, let's say my landscape, we have a SuccessFactors and Ariba or other ECC system. I really want to integrate with only these systems. In that case, what we can do is we can ask SAP man, this is the landscape, this is the only systems are available, I need to integrate with only this system. What SAP does is we will simply make you enable to connect only the systems. Accordingly, we will be saving price in terms of that for the CPI.
Oh,
that's all.
okay.
And consumption based model also available based on the data transfer in backend. So SAP we can pay accordingly. So these are the
that's what actually exactly my second question. How we can choose the subscription model? Anyway, you have already explained it cleanly. Yeah, that's great.
We'll discuss in the training all those models. I have to choose 1 hour class for that.
Okay. So any other rules apart from these two?
No, this is the major things I would say. But it depends. Again, if customer may come up with more different questions and different perspectives, right? So we will consider that and we can take it up.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you.
Happy to take if anyone has others. Okay, if that's clear, let me move into that training. So I'm sure Uday might have shared this with you. If not, you can reach out to Uday. Will share this CPI course content. Okay, this is up-to-date content. Okay, so this training will be around 25 hours. So whatever I mentioned here, so these all are the topics we will be covering: integrations and architecture view, and running your designs. These all are comes as part of the developer. We do have a different palette functions available in CPI, and then the adapters and cloud strategies, and then deep high flows executions and monitoring, and then few of them real-time scenarios. Okay, you can keep eye on this. So I've covered, I mentioned whatever it is available. And also how our training will be planned is I also maintain a tracker. This tracker I need to update as well little bit. Let me quickly open it. So I need to update. Actually, yesterday I updated with the latest. I need to update this as well. But my view here is, say I planned in detail in first sessions what we are discussing, in second session what we are discussing, third session what we are discussing. So I will be sharing this once the batch has finalized, so that you can keep an eye on it. Okay, what we already discussed, what we will be discussing in next class, and you can get prepared accordingly. So each and every class has been completed. I will be in next class onwards. I mean, clearly I will be sharing relating the materials as well, and then we will be sharing your recordings as well. Okay, so materials, when I say materials, few of them has been created as per my experience. I do have, and few of them are available as an SAP standard materials, and also I will be providing SAP certification materials as well. So along with that, we have a SAP trial account available for the CPI. So in one class, I will be showing you and will be providing you a document how you can go ahead and create a trial account by your own. If there is any issues in that, I can help you, but we will be providing, I would say, that is trial account system for you. That system will be available for 1 year. So you can play with the system for 1 year. So that's how, how my training will go. And this is how as planned. But again, whatever I said, so as part of it here, it is included, right? So I will be covering that. But if you think, Arjun, it is, I need to cover something else, or I have other doubts on it, I need to discuss more, or if you want to add, I'm happy to add. It's not like, okay, this is the committed and this is the I'm teaching. I'm not like that. I'm happy to, whatever, basically this, whatever you see in the system, everything I maintain here. But going forward, based on our sessions and based on our experience, if you think anything still needs to be added, I'm feel free to add. and feel free to extend our hours. My ultimate goal is, so whatever is there, you are fully happy and then go out. Okay. So that's it really from my side. So if you have any questions relating to the course or relating to anything, feel free to ask before winding up.
Arjun, I wanted to ask
Mhm.
that API development is a like part of CPA only, right? API
Sorry, I
development.
missed you. Repeat that.
API development hub is
No,
there,
no.
no?
APIs are few APIs are available for the CPI, but I will cover that. But API is completely different platform. There is a SAP API business hub, and we do have different middlewares coming, sir, like open connectors and all. API business is completely different. It takes
Okay.
around 15 sessions again, the API. Actually, few people are asking to get who already got trained by me with a CPI. They are looking to get API training as well. Actually, I'm also planning. I'm working on the APIs as well, but it's altogether different.
Okay. So just like 1 or 2 sessions you can, if you can add.
Yeah, definitely. Whichever helps for the CPI in terms of API, I will cover that
Yeah, yeah, sure.
because all these are interlinked.
So what is the
Okay.
difference between CPI and API?
API business is hub is completely different because SAP is coming up with some APIs to integrate with that other API based systems, and also API based is works with the different policies in terms of more securities and all. Yeah,
So means it's upgrading it to the CPI instead of API.
no, that is completely different middleware. You would say Dell Boomi and MuleSoft like that is there,
Okay.
right? It's SAP is also different middleware. I would say that one. SAP we do have already PIPO, and again they introduce the CPI. And like that they're keeping keeping customer mind next further. They're coming with the different middlewares. That's it. It's not like that latest version or a different CPI or something like that. It's altogether a different system.
Arjun, I wanted to just ask if we want to consume ORATA APIs of SuccessFactor, so we can do it in API development. That is it,
uh
right?
to be honest, I'm telling 99% everything we are doing in the CPI only, the OData API consumption for the success factor.
We can consume that directly in iFlow.
Yes.
Oh. Mhm.
Yeah,
So there is no need to go to API development.
not at all. Yeah, see, 80% of the customers still using the CPI only. There is API also. As I said, for API is also available in CPI also. That can be reused in the CPI only. That is the reason 80% projects are running with the CPI only. Just 10% of the project just started using the APIs. But API will boom after next 3 to 4 years only. But CPI is a majorly being used across all the landscape at the moment because it's available everything there.
Mhm.
Arjun,
In
does
fact,
PA?
mhm.
Okay, go ahead.
No, I'm just telling that when you touch that API, there is in one of the customers I worked like where API doesn't support few things, but what I did is I interlinked CPI with API. So let's say from sender making call to CPI and using all the functions in CPI, routings and mapping and all, because those are not available in API, and hitting from CPI to the API is just being used only because that there are some APIs, standard APIs are available, and hitting into that API based system. That like that also we can design the landscape, but that's a very rare case. Again, API is completely different license, and they need to purchase again like they do for the CPI. Yeah, hope that's clear. Go ahead if someone is asking something.
Yeah, does PI and PO knowledge required to explore the CPA? I am not background of PI and PO. I am
No,
background
not
of
at all.
some.
But yeah, I would say if you are from that PIPO background or any other middleware background, it will be added advantage, but it's not mandatory at all because my course will completely start from the scratch.
Okay, that means
So
do you need to refresh
PIPO and
something or is it?
not required because PIPO development is completely different. There is no link at all. Only the link is in terms of business requirements and gathering and all. If they are coming from the integration background, they knows okay how this integrations happens, how these connections and all. But altogether, that level perspective will be added advantage in terms of development. It's not there is no link at all for PA to CPA. It's completely different.
Okay.
Any other questions?
Do we need to know the in depth of JavaScripting for any validations inside in the CPA?
Yeah, again, like 80% can be done using the standards, but 20% there could be a chances where we need to use this Groovy script and JavaScript. It is with all the middlewares as well, right? Not only with CPA, PO and Delvumi and all. Same case
Yes.
applicable here as well. But what I will tell you, in my course, I will tell you where and how to write the codings and all. We will cover few codings, but I will be providing the materials exclusively for the Groovy script, like beginner guide, where you can go ahead and explore your coding language. If you are already from that background, well and good, add and advertise. But if it is not, because 80% is not required. But if 20% something you can, once you get into that systems and all, you can explore and you can do it.
Okay.
This mainly, Arjun, this is a CPI means mainly data migration, right?
No, this is a CPI PI. In CPI also, another one is available, CPI DS. That is an ETL tool which we'll be using for the data migration. Like you might have heard the BODS, SAP BODS. Same way,
Yes.
there is CPI DS as well.
So the
So
mainly
that
purpose of CPI is what?
there is in CPI we do have two things. One is CPI DS, which will be using for data migrations only. This is
Okay.
the course that we're talking is CPI PI. This will be using for the real-time integrations, real-time business uses and all. If you are already using this PI, simply to make it simple, like you already know about any middlewares like PIPO, Delbumi or MuleSoft, wherever the use case of that same use case is the CPI also. It's a real-time data transfer. Okay. Yeah, last chance if anyone asks anything else. Otherwise, we can find out.
Can you please share us these two documents?
Yeah, sure. We will share that. Once the batch everything gets finalized, every document, everything will be shared.
Okay.
Okay.
Arjun, at least content you can share it. Accordingly,
Yeah,
content you
content.
can.
You can reach out to Uday. You can. I already shared with Uday. Uday will share that content to you. Obviously,
Okay.
content is not.
Yeah, thank you.
Any idea timings, sir? Pretty fixed, or do you need to
Yeah,
think
Uday
on
will
this one?
convey on it, but majorly we will be focusing on the early morning only. But yeah, Uday can connect.
Okay, early
All
morning means
you know
after
Uday, right?
9.
Already spoke to him.
No, time we haven't. No, not sure.
Yeah. You can discuss with Uday.
Okay.
Uday, do you want to share your number here as well? The people who doesn't know may reach you. Otherwise, wait, I will share that Uday's number here. 7745055696. Just sent you in the chat as well. You can make a note of Uday number and you can reach out regarding that batch timings and the course content and all. Okay, are we good to stop now? All right then. Thanks for your participants, and then plan accordingly later. Bye.
Thank you. Bye.
Thank you. Bye.
Thank you.
Yeah.